Hello, everybody. Welcome to Browns and Beyond, your home for Cleveland Browns content, NFL content, and other sports content. If you're enjoying the show, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you stay locked in with all the latest sports content. And most importantly, drop us a comment. We want to hear your thoughts. All right, boys, here we are in the Cuyahoga Falls. It's a lot of snow on the ground today. Parking bans, right, Dave? What's going on here?
Well, I think it's December in Ohio. I think it's very cold. I think we've got a lot of snow. And I got to be honest with you, Brent, not really a big fan.
I think
not really a big fan.
Bretzer texted me. He wanted a snow day or something. I don't know. We don't have that on Browns&Beyond. It's not our policy, right?
I'm not a fan of the snow. But I was at Laconi's at the restaurant, shoveling the sidewalks. So the customers could come in nice and, in this cold weather.
Yeah,
there you go.
Most definitely.
Like the good boss you are, Steve.
I don't know.
No snow day for Browns&Beyond. We're not doing that today. We have a big slate here today, and we will get into the Browns and the Bears game of the week, and we got the bowl prediction. We will start with the Browns and the Bears today. And Shedeur Sanders, will he continue his crusade and his growth and get us a win? That'd be kind of tough matchup here today.
Yeah.
And we will lead things off with Mr. Steve Retzer. Steve, give us your thoughts on this Browns and Bears matchup.
All right, boys. It's going to be a cold one in Chicago at Soldier Field. Many say it will be 10 degrees.
Yeah.
That's a little cold for me to go to a game.
I'll say, Steve.
The Bears have been a surprise team recently, beating the Eagles and the Steelers while losing a close one to the Packers last week.
Yeah.
I believe the Bears are 9-4. The Browns are sitting at 3-10 while losing to the Titans, but showed signs of hope for the future. Shedeur outplayed Cam Ward.
You have to say this, Steve. I have to think that Ben Johnson's also going to be on the list of Coach of the Year candidates. I know your guy, Mike Vrabel, is near the top of that list, but I think Ben Johnson deserves
It's a big Coach of the Year list this year.
Yeah.
It's bigger than, because a lot of teams rebounded quite well last season.
I think there's going to be more than
Ben Johnson.
It
looked like Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams were not on the same page, and that somehow they got there.
Yeah, well,
more games, more practices, more time together.
He did such a good job with those Detroit offenses the last couple of years. He was kind of the guy in waiting, and you know what? He's doing a solid job. I think he's turned around this offense, turned around this team.
Oh yeah. The Browns have many injuries going into this game. The offensive line will be without at least 3 starters on the line going into the game. Wow. Ethan Pochitz is the center, is out for the season. Wyatt Teller and Jack Conklin are out. Wyatt Teller's got the calf.
Yep.
Jack Conklin's got the concussion and all the other injuries that he has. Joel Bitonio is questionable. He's kind of a fighter, though. He doesn't have many years left. I could see him still playing.
I think there's a good chance this is the last year of Joel's career.
Yeah, I've heard that.
That he may be retiring at the end of the season.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Yep.
So the starters are expected to be Cam Robinson, who's been decent for us at left tackle, and then hopefully Bitonio. Luke Weichler at center. He didn't do too bad considering, he needs to keep.
Yeah, they were waiting for the Whippler and then Zinter out of Michigan, the Ohio State Michigan guys to eventually emerge and start to contribute on the interior of that offensive line. Especially, I think Pochitz is in a contract year, if I'm not mistaken, too. So even before he got hurt, there's a good chance he might not be back next year. And then possibly the retirement of Bitonio. Those guys needed to have a future in this organization.
Yeah, I'd like to see Zach Zinter in there more.
Yeah.
I think he's questionable, but it looks like Tevin Jenkins and probably KT Leviston will be the other starters on that line. So the only good news is that Shedeur is used to playing with the bad offensive line in preseason. That's all he put him out with. Mm-hmm. So he might be sort of used to it.
You know what? Dave and I were talking about this, I think, in a few podcasts ago, maybe like a month ago, about he's used to this bad line stuff in Colorado. Right?
And in Colorado, too. And a lot of guys he played with in the preseason didn't even make the team.
Yeah,
he's used to he's like a Joe Burrow type in that respect. Joe Burrow could just handle the bad line and he improvise, right?
Well, some of it, there are ways, and the Bengals almost proved this in their Super Bowl year, where you have to work around a bad offensive line. You can scheme around it a little bit, get rid of the ball quicker, put more of an emphasis on the ground game, max protect. There are
Yeah.
things you can do to
Band-Aids,
kind of
yeah.
Band-Aids. We know about Band-Aids.
Oh
Brent.
God, we've had a few Band-Aids on our Browns and Beyond ventures here.
Yes, indeed. But those are those things that you have to do to kind of work around the offensive line. And then the quarterback's just got to get rid of the ball quick sometimes, knowing that sometimes you're not going to have 4 or 5 seconds to stand back there and scan the field.
Yeah, Shador's done good with bad offensive lines. And what he does best is he extends plays, which is amazing. Even with bad linemen,
that's true.
He seems to extend,
His mobility has been underrated. Not talked about.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's true, though, because we were talking about the Wisconsin guy.
Yeah.
And you would have to give Shador the edge over the Wisconsin guy just because he does that sneaky mobility is a factor in the NFL. You kind of got to have it.
Well, yeah, absolutely. You got to be able to make the plays in the structure and outside the structure.
The days of the drop back guys, the Flaccos, help me out, guys. Kirk Cousins.
Well, Brady, of course, was a pure pocket guy.
Well, Brady he had some sneaky mobility here and there, but I would say this. Those days, you got to kind of be a dual threat kind of quarterback, don't you?
Yeah,
you really do these days.
Linemen are so fast, edge.
Yeah.
Man, are they fast now?
Yep.
Go ahead, continue, Steve.
Offensively, the Browns are without tight end David Njoku and running back Dylan Sampson. Denzel Ward, cornerback, is out, so that's a tough blow on defense. These injuries are a major. And it'll be a tough one for the Browns to try to win this.
By the way, Steve, when I was evaluating it, I saw your text in our text chain earlier in the week, and I'm like, oh, you know what? As I'm evaluating this game and putting together my notes, I'm like, yeah, Steve's right. These injuries are big.
Big injuries, man. Major guys.
Key guys. Yep.
Well, let's hope Stefanski will open up the playbook for Tommy Reese and let Shador continue to throw downfield and see what we got. I don't expect the Shore to have a big passing game like he did last week, but still do pretty well. I mentioned in the last cast, Chris Broussard on First Thing First said Shador will outplay Caleb Williams, but the Bears will still win. I could see this possibly happening.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Shador, he can play, guys. I mean, I think
I don't know about that. I don't know if he'll outplay. Caleb Williams has really improved his game.
He has improved.
Yeah, he's taking this game up from
I
year two.
I look at Shador a little differently. You can't just say, oh, well, he's just going to kill it today. You got to keep in mind, this is a good team, and not just that, he's going to get more pressure. I kind of feel like he's going to have a mediocre game today, just from the standpoint that it doesn't mean he's going to stink, but I think he's going to be somewhat limited today. I think the Bears are going to bring it, and I just don't think it's going to be this air raid thing that he did with the Titans. They're just not going to give that to him. I don't see that.
I think he could still have a game, not like the Titans game.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, okay.
And I do think he's our quarterback of the future. It'd be nice for the Browns to get positions of need, like linemen, receivers in the draft, and not have to get a quarterback. That would be nice. And that's what we're going to find out in these last 3 games.
Right.
The Bears' defense against the run is not so good. To look for Quinshad Judkins to bounce back and get a lot of carries and yards. I think they should run him about 22 to 25 times.
Agree with you, Steve. He's going to be key in this game.
And I think he'll break over 100 yards rushing.
Wow.
Because the Bears' defense, they have good edge guys and everything, but you can run on them. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Shador will look to target his favorite receiver, that being tight end Harold Fannin Jr., who's leading the way. But no matter what quarterback is in, Harold Fannin has had a great season, guys. There's no doubt there.
Do you really think he's going to have a better career than Ozzie Newsome? I keep hearing that. Some of the podcasts,
Pretty good. Maybe it's a little early to mess with the Wizard.
I was going to say, that's getting a little crazy.
I mean, I loved him coming out of college. I mean, he put up big numbers at Bowling Green, even when he faced good competition last year.
Yeah.
Even when he played, because he actually played against Texas A&M and Penn State last year. So even when he played against good competition, he was still a productive player. So, yeah, I loved him coming out of the draft. It's still too early to compare him to a Hall of Famer. And the stats are also skewed towards the passing game nowadays compared to when Ozzie played as well.
Sure.
So
how about this? I think he's going to be better than David Njoku. Njoku's made the Pro Bowl at least once.
Yeah.
So look for Harold Fannin to make at least a Pro Bowl or two. That's for sure.
I can see that.
No doubt.
A revitalized Jerry Jeudy should be targeted, and his confidence should be built up with this big game against the Titans. So look for Jeudy to get targeted, guys.
Yep.
He should have another big game. His confidence is up. My boy Cedric Tillman, he may be out in this one. He's got a concussion. He's got to get back on the concussion protocol. So maybe expect Isaiah Bond to be more involved in this one. And get this, guys, Jamari Thrash. He's actually been waived to make room for another offensive lineman since we need linemen with all these guys injured. But expect to get him back if he clears waivers. So no Thrash. Defensively, Myles Garrett is only 3 sacks away from breaking the sack record. Look for him to get at least 1 sack in this one, I'm thinking. Alex Wright is in the opposite end, and he's been playing well. The Browns must stop the run in this one. The Bears are a run team.
Yeah, they are.
With Malik Collins out for the season, I told you guys in the last cast, the Browns signed Maurice Hurst. He played for us in 23 and 24. He wasn't bad as a rotational defensive player, interior.
I think Graham might be a game-time decision here, too, Steve. I heard he was questionable for this one, possibly.
Yeah, I had Mason Graham listed as questionable again.
Yep.
So Shelby Harris has to step it up.
Yep.
As does Michael Hall Jr. Mm-hmm. Both of those guys especially. And hopefully they can put Hurst in, too, in that rotation. Carson Schlesinger and Devin Bush, they should have big games. These linebackers are having great seasons. With Denzel Ward out, I'm hearing Sam Webb might be the starter at corner.
Yeah.
The Bears may target him a lot, so there's going to be pressure on that Browns secondary, guys. And Tyson Campbell on the other side, they may pressure both those guys. I mean, I'm just saying, Denzel Ward, that's your Pro Bowl guy. He's a top 5 corner. When he's out, things could be tough. A little rocky.
Yep, could be rough.
Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams have found a way to get it done in Chicago. Williams has had a good season. I mentioned in the extravaganza, I thought DeAndre Swift was a pretty good running back.
Yep.
No one really wanted to say that back then.
Well,
he was pretty solid. He played for Detroit before, right?
Right. It's hard to believe this is his 6th year in the league. I loved him. I really liked him coming out of Georgia. Now, he wasn't quite on the level of like the Gurleys or the Chubbs that kind of came before him.
Yeah.
But, I thought he was a very solid back. And, had a solid year for that Philadelphia team in 22 that went to the Super Bowl. I believe he was the number 1 starter for that team.
Yeah. And then he's got a mix with Kyle Mangani, and him and Swift are leading the Bears. They're second in the NFL with over 150 yards per rushing.
Yep.
And they're first in rushing since week 5. So they've really been put it on the ground, guys.
Yep.
Caleb Williams has a slew of receivers to get the ball to. DJ Moore, of course, is their veteran guy. And then Roma Dunze, that was their number 1 pick last season. He's taken over as like the top receiver. And rookie Luther Burden, he's starting to get involved more, guys. So he's coming along playing well. And then, of course, he's got 2 tight ends to throw to, Colston Loveland and Cole Kmet. So Caleb Williams has got some weapons, believe it or not, and Ben Johnson's making it work. They're making it work together, guys.
Yep.
The Bears' run defense isn't very good, and their pass defense is around 21st in the league. They're good at producing turnovers, guys, just like many old Bears teams. I've seen lots of Bears teams over the last decades, and the offense was real bad. Remember, they always had bad quarterback play. They finally have better quarterback play.
Yeah.
But they always had a defense that could get turnovers, and that's what this team's doing.
Yeah.
Montez Sweat is a dominant force on the edge. Safety Kevin Byard leads the league in interceptions, and cornerback Nashawn Wright was named Defensive Player of the Month. So Chicago's pass defense has actually been improving, even though they're 21st. They're still tough to go against. I think the Browns' injuries will hurt them, particularly the offensive line, and the Bears being at home will make the difference in this one. I think Shador proves he's the quarterback for the future, but the Browns fall short and lose this one 24-20, guys.
Yeah, well said, Steve.
Go Browns. Go Browns.
I like what you said there, and got a lot of good points there, and we'll move on to Mr. Dave Greenshield. And Dave, how's this one looking for us? Can we get a W here against the Bears?
Well, I think it's going to be an interesting one, Brent. I have to start off by saying, when it comes to this one, the Browns prepare to play the Chicago Bears. The narrative surrounding these two franchises couldn't be more different. For Chicago, the stakes are monumental. They are clawing tooth and nail to try to win the NFC North Division title, which is interesting. Yeah. It's a really good battle there between the Lions and the Packers. That was a great game last week between the Packers and the Bears.
I thought so. We watched that. I I really thought the Bears could have pulled that out.
I thought
really
they played a
did.
great second half, and I
Yeah.
thought, I'm not saying they should look for moral victories, in a loss,
Yeah.
but I thought they played toe to toe with a Packers team that could easily be in the Super Bowl this
And
year.
that game was at Lambeau.
And it was at
And
Lambeau.
didn't Caleb
Yeah.
Williams throw in the end zone?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he looked good.
Incomplete at the very end, right?
No, he underthrew a pass that was
Under-
it was intercepted actually.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
But for the most part, no, he looked composed and he looked good.
They played pretty
Yeah.
well. He
Yeah.
played in Green Bay pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Browns are trying to find out if they found their future at quarterback in Shedeur Sanders. Again, winter football's here, guys. Temperatures are expected to be frigid at Sunday's game against the Bears. I think you said I saw 11 degrees, Steve. They said it's going to feel like
Ooh, it's getting a little warmer.
I hear they say it's going to feel like -3 degrees out there. This does offer an interesting quarterback matchup between the dynamism of Caleb Williams and the swagger of rookie Shedeur Sanders. By the way, the last time these two signal callers stood on opposite sidelines, it was we had some fireworks in college. In 2023, Williams USC Trojans edged out Shedeur Sanders Colorado Buffaloes.
Yeah, I remember.
48-41.
What a great game.
Yeah, in a thriller where the two combined for a staggering 11 touchdowns and 834 yards of total offense, by the way. Is that amazing?
Yeah.
That's good.
It's crazy to go back and watch some of these college games. I tell you what, if you ever want to watch a crazy one, Baker Mayfield and Patrick Mahomes met in a crazy, 50-some to 50 game
Jeez.
in 2016 when Patrick was at Texas Tech and Baker was at Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Yeah, go back and take a look at that one sometime. I would expect these two types. I would not expect, by the way, these type of offensive numbers in this one, but for sure, guys. For Shedeur, the game last week was an excellent performance. We got into it in the review of the game. His throws were accurate. He recognized things better and showed he could escape pressure when necessary, as we talked about. Now, there are much better defenses in the NFL, so how he performs against them, we're going to have to wait and see. Sanders really picked apart man coverage last week, but how does he do against more zone and more pressure? The next 3 games against tougher defenses should be an indicator of what the Browns might have going into another offseason where they could be looking for quarterback help. I know Steve's already there after the Titans game, but we have 4 more games left. So we can't fall on our face in those 4 games and then just say, well, let's just look back at the Titans game. I know you're optimistic that he won't, but seeing's believing.
In my mind, you don't want him to stink up the joint the next 4 games.
Yes.
You want him to, if anything, the stats are low turnovers, game manage. That would get him a year 2. What you don't want is the Winston thing last year. Pick, turnover, fumble,
And if they lose, it's okay as long as he shows progress.
Exactly.
Competitive. Like you said, Brent, not as many turnovers, but making things happen, competing in the game.
Or
doing better. The opposite
the throw, overthrowing and underthrowing would not be something we would want.
Right. I think if we see more like the Raiders' performance, maybe of the first game, something like that. We know we're not going to get the Titans' performance the next 4 games. But if it's kind of closer to the Raiders' performance, where it's a solid game, he's for the most part taking care of the football. Though he did have an interception against the Raiders, but he's taking care of the football, and the fundamentals are good. Then I think we've got something to work with. Steve, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And it's a small sample size so far with Shedeur.
Right.
But as of right now, Shedeur is looking like the best rookie quarterback this year. He's outplayed Cam Ward.
Yeah.
Jackson Dart looks like he's playing better. I mean, I know we got to get a few more games in.
Sure.
But he is. Right now, he's looking like the best rookie
he is,
from
but
the draft.
I think the key is this game and the next one. That will tell me a lot.
You go. What are you going? You're going Bears, Bills, Steelers.
Before you even get, because here's the problem with the Steelers.
Okay. Well, the Bears, however, the pass defense is a little bit susceptible. It's 21st in the NFL, 224 yards a game they're giving up. As Steve mentioned, they're living off of turnovers. The league high 18 interceptions. Kevin Byard has 6 picks. Nashawn Wright 5. The Bears do play a fair amount of man coverage, 9th most in the NFL. It'll be interesting to see if defensive coordinator Dennis Allen plays a little bit more zone today. It'll be also interesting to see if Jerry Jeudy, coming off a solid 5 catch for 76 yards and a touchdown, can continue to make plays. The offensive line, again, will be without Jack Conklin and Wyatt Teller, so pass pro will be a key. Actually, for the most part, the pass pro was solid last week against the Titans, but that was also on Shedeur getting rid of the ball and throwing the ball away when necessary. It's going to be interesting to see. Montez Sweat does have 8.5 sacks this year too, Steve. So it'll be interesting to see how the tackles hold up in this one. Again, without the services of David Njoku and Dylan Sampson, but this puts a little bit more pressure on Quinshon Judkins and Harold Fannin. Fannin, the 11 catches for 114 yards and a touchdown. Lost kind of amid the Shador performance. I thought Fannin made some incredible plays last week, Steve.
Yeah, Shador got Rookie of the Week, but Harold Fannin was nominated, Dave.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he made
some game he had. Yeah.
Some great catches. Judkins is coming off one of his poorest showings of the season, 26 yards on 14 carries. But the run defense, as Steve mentioned, 27th in the league, Steve. So it is susceptible. So I think that's going to be a big key today. They're giving up an average of 132 yards a game on the ground. Will this beat up, though, Brown's offensive line be able to open up run lanes? That's going to be interesting. A lot of times it's Judkins turning water into wine with this offensive line and making somebody miss, breaking a tackle.
Yeah, he's going to have to do that today.
Exactly. On the other side of the ball, the Bears' offense is led by second-year starter Caleb Williams. He has shown some improvement in his second year. The 2022 Heisman Trophy winner has 19 touchdown passes after throwing just 20 as a rookie. So he has struggled to show consistent accuracy. This is the one thing about his game. He's completing fewer than 60% of his passes in 6 straight games. The accuracy for him is kind of inconsistent. Although I thought he showed some real growth in that game against the Packers last week, even though it was marred by that last second interception when they were trying to go in for the tie. He did some really good things with his arm and his legs in that one. Williams has benefited from the strong running game. Love the 1-2 punch of Swift and Monangai that's averaging 152 yards on the ground. The Browns' run defense was shoved around last week by Tony Pollard and the Titans. So it's going to be really interesting to see, in the absence of Malik Collins, especially if Mason Graham doesn't play, Steve, how does Shelby Harris, how does, you know what I mean? How does Mike Hall?
About Shelby Harris.
How does Hurst?
I mean, they were saying Shelby is not the same Shelby. He's made a few good plays. He did block that field goal, but he's got to be ready to play that interior defensive line, guys.
Yeah. How does that interior of the Browns defensive line
become young and real fast?
Exactly. It's a solid Bears offensive line, as you can see by their rush numbers. By the way, Browns defensive end Myles Garrett will be matched up with Ozzie Trapillo, which will be a big-time matchup in this one. Garrett comes in with a league-leading 20 sacks and needs just 2.5 sacks to match the single-season record shared by Michael Strahan and Pittsburgh's T.J. Watt. Trapillo, a second-round draft pick from Boston College this year, held his own last week against Micah Parsons, by the way. A solid effort against Cleveland could help cement him as the Bears' left tackle for the future. The Bears have gotten a really solid year out of second-year receiver Romadumze, 44 catches for 661 yards and 6 touchdowns. The Bears are optimistic he'll be available to play against the Browns after he missed last week due to a foot injury against the Packers. Again, we're going to be without the services of Denzel Ward. The Browns run man coverage more than any other team in the league. But it could be a big loss in this one, guys. Again, this will be a really good test for this defense, especially considering the injury issues on the interior of that D-line and then missing Ward, Steve.
Yeah, and then what do they got? Miles Harden? Let's hope that, remember, they were picking on him early in the season.
Yeah.
What's going to happen now?
Yeah.
If Sam Webb, did you hear, do you think it'll be Sam Webb?
It could be Sam Webb. Harden did get picked on a lot as that third corner earlier in the season. So, and like we said, we run man like 47% of the time. So, yeah, it's going to be a test today. Just in conclusion, I really like what we saw from Shador last week. I think everybody did. It's going to be interesting to see what Bears defensive coordinator Dennis Allen has planned. The Bears blitzed the 8th most of any team in the league at 29.8%. Pass pro was solid last week. How much do they try to bring extra defenders against Shador? Something to watch today, by the way, guys. I would like to see a little bit more production from Judkins in the ground game. Obviously, best friend of a young quarterback is a good run game. For the first time, the defense has me concerned, though, Steve. The run defense especially. The Bears have a strong ground game. The absence of Denzel Ward does not help the cause. Interesting to see the offensive game plan. Hopefully more of a focus on the run this week. I think Shador will play a solid game. The Bears are the better team. They're playing at home. The Browns are beat up. Give me Chicago, 27-20, as the R&D year continues, Brent.
Yes. Sounds good, Dave. We will get to the next segment as the game of the week. We will lead with Mr. Steve Retzer. Steve, you're going to get back on winning ways this week, correct?
That is correct, Brent. I'll be back on my way again. I got the Lions at the Rams. This should be a good one, guys.
Yes, it is.
This is just not any game.
Great game.
It has importance.
Stafford versus Goff.
Yeah, the two quarterbacks.
Face off.
Yeah,
Face off.
It's an interesting dynamic. They met in a playoff game, by the way, a couple of years ago.
Yes.
When the Lions and Goff got the better end of that. That was the year they lost to San Francisco in the championship game 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So it should be interesting.
Yeah, since the Jared Goff for Matthew Stafford trade, the Lions are actually 3-1 since that trade. The Rams are the better team this season, but Jared Goff will be ready to play, and he's still a little hurt from that trade. Dan Campbell said, "Well, I'm happy that I got him." So he's wanted in Detroit.
Steve, isn't it fair to say if there ever was a trade that worked out well for both teams? Couldn't this say one of the few trades in the history of the NFL where it did work out well for both teams? Because Detroit has been able to take the draft picks and build the success that they've had. And obviously we know Stafford led the team to a Super Bowl victory.
Yes.
And they look like maybe the best team this year. So
Yeah, Stafford won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So that helped the Rams. And Jared Goff, man, Detroit is still one of the top NFC teams every year. Dan Campbell's coaching up good. So, yeah, absolutely. Jared Goff, don't feel too bad,
Sure.
So this matchup between the Rams are 10-3. Detroit comes in 8-5. It's one of the most highly anticipated games of the week, and it has massive playoff implications for both sides. It's a rematch of their famous 2024 wildcard game that features continued quarterback swap, like we just said, between Stafford and Goff. Stafford is playing at MVP level now. He's leading the league in touchdown passes with 35, and he's boasting his elite passing rate, 113.1. He's healthy and operating Sean McVay's high-octane offense masterfully. Jared Goff is also having a good year, guys, but Stafford's recent play, his Super Bowl pedigree, and the urgency of home game to potentially secure a playoff spot give him the mental edge. For the playoff scenario, guys, the stakes couldn't be higher. A Rams win clinches a playoff spot and keeps them in the driver's seat for the NFC's coveted number 1 seed. The Rams want to get that number 1 seed, I think, this year, guys.
Well, there's still some landmines left. They've got the Rams. They're going to get Seattle, I think, here in a few weeks. I believe at Seattle. So yeah,
Seattle's really good.
This is a tough road.
Green Bay's tough.
Yeah.
And this NFC, they're pretty loaded, guys. They're locked and loaded. A Lions victory would be significantly to boost their playoff hopes, while a loss would see their odds plummet. The pressure is arguably greater on Detroit to stay in the race. I do like the Rams, as many do.
Yeah.
The Rams' current form and specific defensive advantages are the major reasons that are going to be for my pick. They're explosive and balanced offense, man. Guys, the Rams' offense ranked number 4 in the league. They're firing on all cylinders.
Well, I think the Rams have kind of become Brent Keaton's new little
side check.
Side team.
What are you doing? You're taking my team.
I thought Brent would want this game.
I know. I had to switch it up.
Yeah.
I mean,
switched it up.
You have to do it. If I take, you know what I like to do?
Okay.
Just every other game. That's kind of going back on the Rams in the next game.
Dabble. Okay.
Gotta dabble in some other areas, and you see where I'm going to go today.
Right.
My game of the week today is going to be special.
All right.
We know that. Anyways, continue, Steve.
The Rams, they're highly efficient in the passing game, obviously led by Stafford and then Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua, who present a matchup nightmare. I mean, guys, those guys are probably becoming the best 1-2 out of receivers. I'd probably put them above Jamar Chase
and T. Higgins. I'll tell you one I really liked when healthy. The Lamb Pickens combo is really good too.
I like that one.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
You're right, Dave. Crucially, the Rams have developed an explosive and efficient rushing attack led by Kareem Williams and Blake Corum. The balanced attack will be difficult for Detroit's defense to contain. The Lions are battered in the secondary, guys. The defense has suffered significant injuries with players like Brian Branch is going to be out, guys.
Yeah.
And Kirby Joseph is limited.
Yeah, the big concern today is
that's a big deal.
Right,
guys.
yeah, that Detroit secondary going against Stafford and these receivers, look out. I think Goff and that offense better be prepared to score some points today.
Yeah, the Lions are going to have
like north of 30, or at least high 20s, maybe north of 30.
The Rams trio of elite pass catchers, like I said, Adams, Nacua, and emerging tight end Colby Parkinson, will be matched up against this depleted and stressed Lions defensive backfield. Expect Stafford to exploit this weakness with downfield shots. The Lions have surrendered over 1,000 passing yards in their last 3 games. That's pretty bad, guys. And this is a Dan Campbell team. But what can you do when guys are hurt?
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
Sure.
The Lions rely heavily on their dynamic running back duo of Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. The running game is the heart of their offense. However, the Rams boast one of the league's most stingy run defenses. God, they've gotten better, haven't they, the Rams defense,
Well,
the last couple of years?
the one thing I liked, there are 2 reasons I really like the Rams coming into the season. Obviously, the quarterback play and receivers that we talked about, just the weapons. But then on the defensive side of the ball, I love this front 7. You know, I picked Jared Verse as my preseason defensive player of the year. I just think this is a really good D-line. Ford in the middle of that D-line's a really underrated player. Love Jared Verse, as I mentioned. Yeah, it's a really good defense.
Yeah, Jared Verse has had a heck of a year.
Yeah.
He's improved it. They were young, and now they're getting into their stride.
Exactly.
Where they need to be.
Yeah, that was my pick. I was so tempted to pick them as my Super
I like
Bowl
that Jared
pick.
Verse pick. That was a good pick, Dave,
Yeah.
early in the year. So they boast one of the best running defenses. They've allowed only 4 touchdowns all season. If the Rams can stifle Detroit's ground game and force Goff into a one-dimensional passing attack against a heavy pass rush from players like Aiden Hutchinson, plays directly into Los Angeles' strengths. My prediction, the Rams will win in a high-scoring battle, leveraging their home field advantage and Stafford's elite quarterback play. Hey, he's MVP, right? I think they'll pull away in the 4th quarter. I have the Rams winning this in a close one, though, 34-27.
Okay.
Go Rams. I haven't taken them all year. It's my first time taking them, boys.
It's a good pick, Steve.
Right. Well said. We get to Mr. Dave Greenshield. Dave, we looking at number 9?
Winning. That's all we do around here,
I
Brent.
mean, pretty soon we're going to have to get another hand in here.
Exactly.
You're going to need to, maybe you'll need my help at the bar. It'll be like 5-5 and like 2 and.
Well,
what are you going to do there?
Well, I'm going to go back to where it started, Brent, with the Kansas City Chiefs. My game of the week. There we go. Well, my game of the week it's not quite the easy button that it started with the Chiefs. I'm going with Chargers and Chiefs this week as my game of the week. Or should we say the end of the dynasty, guys, or the Chiefs' last stand? Give it a name, gentlemen. Give it a name.
I don't think Mr. Retzer liked that. That's his pick.
Exactly. Well, after last week's game against the Texans and that loss, Brent, this may be it.
They're
in trouble.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah, a lot has changed. A lot has changed since these teams met, the Chargers and the Chiefs, in the season opener in Brazil. Again,
that's right. We watched that.
Me and Mr. Brent Keaton watched it. BW3.
BW3s. Yeah. Oh boy. It was like a weird night. Was it a Friday night?
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't the normal. Yeah. Keep going.
I watched the replay of that last night.
Yeah.
And man, that's where you can tell the Chargers scored on him right away, and the Chiefs were not playing.
The Chiefs didn't look. They never come out slinging, though, do they?
Yeah.
On openers.
Yeah, but Brent Keaton never wants to give Justin Herbert any credit.
Yeah.
It's just that's.
Actually, you know what? He did do good early in the season, but now he's starting to level off a little bit. Anyways, keep going.
I'm gonna get into that. Brent Keaton.
Hey, by the way. My taxes are due. Let's wait. Hold on. I don't want to get in trouble for fraud. I better get them in on time. Okay. Anyways. All right. Just keep going, buddy.
All right. The Chargers have parlayed their 27-20 victory back in September, by the way, into a sporty 9-4 mark, including last week's triumph over the Super Bowl champion Eagles. They are closing in on a second consecutive playoff appearance. The Chiefs have continued to stumble all season. At 6-7, are facing the possibility of postseason elimination on Sunday.
Who would have thought we'd say that, Dave?
All right. Well, let's start with the 3-time defending AFC champion Kansas City Chiefs. Mahomes is coming off one of the worst games I've ever seen Patrick Mahomes play in his entire NFL career, when he threw for just 160 yards, no touchdowns, and 3 picks in a 20-10 loss to Houston in Kansas City on Sunday night. His passer rating of 19.9 was the lowest for a Chiefs quarterback with at least 20 attempts since Matt Castle had a 19.1 rating in the 2010 season against the Raiders. That's bad. You don't want to keep that company if you're a guy that's going for the GOAT status, by the way. His overall numbers so far this season have not been bad. 3rd in the league in yards, tied for 5th in touchdowns, 4th in QBR. It's hard to put the blame on him. The Chiefs have not found a way to win close games like they did last year. Remember, everything broke for them a year ago, guys. They just found a way to either get the key defensive stop, get Mahomes to make the key throw, Kelsey to make the key catch, whatever they needed to get a close win. They were able to get done last year. They're not getting it done this year.
That's correct.
The supporting cast needs to be mentioned here. The Chiefs have struggled for much of the season with drop passes. They had several of them in opportune times last week against the Texans. Wide receiver Rashee Rice and tight end Travis Kelsey, two of their most important offensive players, both had drops late in the game when Kansas City still had time to mount a comeback. It'll be interesting to see if Travis Kelsey can have a bounce-back game, or Taylor Swift's fiancé, however way you wish to put it, guys.
Oh my God!
Well, we have to get that out there. We have to put that. Do we have to put that disclaimer out there? We're trying to cater to the pop culture crowd.
Absolutely. Yeah. So Swifties coming to the Browns and Beyond, and
exactly
giving it a look.
We want to draw some of those views.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Might as well tip into that.
Kelsey needs to focus a little more on football and catching balls. Like the best players are not playing as good as they were. It used to be the wide receivers were dropping passes. Now Kelsey's dropping them. Mahomes has thrown an interception here and there.
Well, like I said,
hard to believe.
His overall numbers aren't bad. If I said 60 catches, 727 yards, 5 touchdowns, again, they're solid numbers. But he had a horrible game last week.
Right.
I believe this is a very underrated Chargers defense. Not only based on the personnel, but I also think it's well coached. Second-year defensive coordinator Jesse Minter. This is the 4th-ranked total defense and 5th-ranked pass defense. The Chiefs come into this one with some questions on the O-line. It starts with health. They'll be without offensive tackle Wanye Morris and offensive guard Trey Smith and offensive tackle Jawan Taylor. This is a solid Charger pass rush led by Tule Tuipulotu, leading the team with 10 sacks, and veteran linebacker Khalil Mack chipping in with 4.5 sacks. This will be a big challenge for Mahomes in the offense. On the other side of the ball, the Chargers' offense has been inconsistent. I believe most of that is due to the health issues on the O-line and running back, and not the quarterback, just
not the fraud. Oh my God!
Come on, the guy is.
I'm doing an IRS audit on him. That's how bad he is. Oh.
He's 11th in the NFL in passing yards, and he's tied with Mahomes for 5th in touchdown passes. Not at all bad.
My God!
He has
solid.
He has been sacked 45 times this year, 3rd most in the NFL. The Chargers have battled numerous injuries on the offensive line, losing starting tackles Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt for, in Slater's case, all of the season. It'll be interesting to see if Spags will bring some blitz packages in this one. The Chiefs do blitz about 5th most of any team in the league at 30.9%. Defensive tackle Chris Jones has 4 sacks this season, coming off a real solid performance against the Texans on Sunday night. The Chargers have gotten back the services of rookie running back Omarion Hampton. The Chargers actually have the 9th-ranked rushing offense. Herbert tends to spread the ball around. The Chargers' top 4 pass catchers, Ladd McConkey, Keenan Allen, Quentin Johnston, and Arondé Gatson, all of whom have at least 500 yards receiving or more this season. The Chargers want to have a balanced offense with run. That'll be difficult against the Chiefs' 7th-ranked rush defense. This will come down to Justin Herbert again. He had a big day in week 1, 25 of 34, 318 yards and 3 touchdowns. He was great that day, Brent. He
was that opener. And there's even some of the games after that, but then he cooled off. He did.
Bit. There was some inconsistency after that. I'll give you that. Spags and the Chiefs defense need to be ready. It's going to be interesting to see if he's got some of those blitz packages. He wasn't real aggressive in getting him at that first week.
No, they were not aggressive, that opener.
Yeah, we talked about that in watching that.
Yeah, that was interesting how they didn't do it. They hardly ever got to him,
Yeah, all right. Well, in conclusion here, guys, interesting fact, the Dave Green Shield 8-game win streak started with my easy button week 7 pick.
Yeah.
The Chiefs over the Raiders. The Chiefs' playoff hopes, I believe, are on life support, and that may be kind. The Chargers have been solid for the most part. The defense is very good, and Herbert's been fine. The injuries have probably prevented this team from reaching its true ceiling, in my view. The offensive line injuries and running back injuries, or they could really be challenging the Broncos for this division. The Chiefs are coming off of a game where Reed had bad coaching decisions, Mahomes was way off, and Kelsey was a non-factor. I don't know if you guys watched that entire Texans game, but it was bad. Now, a lot of that had to do with that great Texans defense, by the way, which is awesome.
They do have a good defense.
It's awesome. I don't expect that to happen again. The Chargers do have what is clearly needed to knock the Chiefs out for good. Call me crazy. I'm going with Mahomes. He won't let this team down.
Shocking.
He won't let the Dave Green Shield win streak down. The win streak continues. Give me the Chiefs. 24-21. The playoff hopes stay alive. The win streak stays alive.
This has got Cowboys vibes when they beat the Eagles.
Dave,
He's doing it. He's taking the opposite.
For my sake, I hope you're right, buddy.
I'm just
I need
saying.
the Chiefs. Okay, he said it, so that's what's going to happen.
He's on Team Retzer secretly.
We need the Chiefs. But we need them.
Hey, you guys are like in cahoots again, and you guys are going against me and Cuyahoga Falls together. And what do we do? Yeah. They do. They gang up on me, guys, and they just kind of did that. They're talking there. All right. We're going to get to the game of the week. I've been looking forward to this one for a while. This is it. The return of the grandpa. Here we go. Phillip Rivers makes his return. Colts against the Seahawks. I know Mr. Retzer's got something to say about his Seahawks there. But I'll tell you right now, we're going to see how this goes. But get ready for a pure shot of adrenaline and nostalgia as the 8-5 Indianapolis Colts, desperate for a playoff push, convince 44-year-old grandpa Phillip Rivers to unretire for a pivotal road test against a 10-3 Seahawks. This isn't just a game. It's a desperate gamble on a gunslinger guts and his signature. Dadgummit, let's freaking go.
Dadgummit.
Remember that?
Where did you pull a dadgummit out of, Frankie? Come on.
It came up with my Google search or so. I don't know.
I think that came straight out of East
I know. Maybe that's a Canton thing. I don't know. By the way, my Canton people, you gotta give me some props here. Anyways,
there you go.
All right, leave me some Zima or something. Or some Joe Bell. All right. I gotta focus here. Rivers must channel his vintage rhythm, utilizing his veteran command to negate the deafening noise of Lumen Field. Yeah, the Seahawks, you know how they go, and orchestrate high percentage throws against the Seahawks' ferocious top-tier defense.
Yeah.
For the Colts to pull off this improbable upset, the grandpa Rivers will need to lean on Michael Pittman Jr., find ways to maximize Jonathan Taylor's running game against a dominant front. Yes. If the granddad can deliver a classic performance and avoid the turnover, the Colts will shock the NFL world and inject life into their playoff dreams. The final score, the Colts 27, the Seahawks 24.
What?
Wow.
I got the Colts, guys. No doubt about it.
Drinking.
Right.
Drinking. You've been drinking again.
Get this. I heard that the Colts are resigning LaDainian Tomlinson, so he's coming in with Jonathan Taylor.
There we go.
Our Kent State guy, Antonio Gates, coming back at tight end.
Right.
Maybe some Vincent Jackson.
Dude,
they're going to be loaded.
Antonio Gates, I think he had classes with Brett back at Kent.
All I got to say is Grandpa is going to have a day. That's all there. That is the title of today.
You better hope that he can play like Tom Brady did, like Joe Flacco has. That's all I got to say. Seattle's a good team.
Seattle's defense.
I know.
Front seven is really good. It's really good.
I thought you guys would enjoy this. You know, I did. I'm on a couple.
I love the pick though. We got to wrap.
In River. I love. This reminds me of Dave. 2011, 2010.
Yeah, that's the last time Phillip Rivers was good.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I feel like we're getting a little bit of the old days. They're coming back, you know?
He started for the Colts in 2020, right?
He did. But you know what I mean. I'm talking about the heyday Rivers, yeah.
Yes.
So anyways, all right, guys, we're going to get to the last segment, and that is the bold prediction, and we got to get some winning this one. Yeah. Dave, take us away, man. Lead us away. What do you got for a bold prediction?
Okay, well, I'm going to go with another running back bold, Pete. I'm going to go with Devon Achane, the Miami Dolphins running back. I have him going for over 150 yards rushing against the Steelers on Monday Night Football. He's been on fire in the Dolphins' 4-game win streak. The explosive running back is averaging 130 yards per game during this stretch. Hard to believe the Dolphins were a team that was about ready to fire their coach after the Browns game. Remember, people were saying Mike McDaniel shouldn't even get on the plane, by the way, after the Browns performance. The Steelers have the 21st rated run defense, giving up an average of 125 yards a game. The loss of T.J. Watt could be big as well. I like Achane. He's very explosive and could see him having a few long runs in this one. Give me Achane to have a big one and give me a bold P victory.
All right. Well said, Dave. We'll get to Mr. Steve Retzer and wrap us up there. Steve, you're gonna get a win on this bold prediction, right, buddy?
I think I am. I got to say this now. Last week I had Brees Hall rushing for over 100 yards against. Speaking of the Dolphins,
Okay, how'd that work out, Steve?
he fell short of that. I think
Okay.
he only like 42 yards. Anyway, that did not happen. But I'm hoping this will happen. My bold prediction for this week, I got the Jets at the Jaguars. It will be that Jaguars running back Travis Etienne will rush for over 100 yards and help get the win over the lowly Jets. The Jets are having a tough season, and they haven't gotten and believe it or not, they haven't even gotten an interception this year, guys. Isn't that unbelievable?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the Jaguars are playing great football. They've surprised me this
Well,
year.
you know, they've actually had low-key one of the best defenses in the NFL. You know, what's interesting about their team is they've had a strong running game. ATN's had a good year running the football, as we've talked about in the past. They have a really good defense. It's really been Brent's other guy, his
I
other
know.
fraud, Trevor Lawrence, who's been inconsistent. Although he played a little bit better last
Easy
week.
schedule.
He played a little bit better last week against the Colts. Okay, I agree with you, Brent.
Cupcake City.
Until he steps it up and does it against better
Yeah.
competition, I can get your
Yeah.
behind
Beat
your
the
point.
Chiefs. I mean,
Right.
Okay, yeah, that's the JV team now. Come on, come on, guys. They're so bad. They're like I think I saw the other day they a red pants and a white shirt. You know, in the JV team in sports, they never got the best equipment. That's the Chiefs now. They're
Wow.
you know what I mean? Come on, give me.
They won't
Get
be
some
this week,
competition.
Brian.
that's right.
Oh, that's right. Dave's got to win this. Got to be.
Thank you.
Well, guys, Liam Cohen and Trevor Lawrence, they're getting it done together this
Mhm.
year. And like you just said, Dave, the Jaguars' defense is solid. They've surprised me a lot. But let's go Travis Etienne. Get that 100. He had 74 the week before. Let's break that 100.
Well said. You know, my bold prediction, even if I don't have one, but if I did, Phillip Rivers will take his blood pressure medication at halftime. At halftime, he will take it, and
Old man jokes for
you know,
Rivers.
yeah, you know, that's I think that's going to happen.
So
at
you think
halftime.
he's really going to have like a good day, throw a couple touchdown passes?
I do.
Or do you think this will be on the back of Jonathan Taylor kind of running the football?
Both balanced attack, but you know the Seahawks, they are at home. I get it, but I kind of feel like Rivers could pull this out in a grind. You know, it'd be a game for him. You know, get some help, turnovers. You know, I got to pull for the grandpa.
Okay.
You know,
You got
I
a
just
soft
do.
spot for the old.
And first grandpa ever to play in an NFL game is today, by the way.
And Shane Steichen and Rivers are buddies. Did you guys hear that?
Yeah.
There's some buddies.
Yeah, I thought that Favre actually had a grandchild when he was playing with the Vikings at the end of his career, but I could have been wrong.
I don't think I thought that too, but I don't think that. I think this is it, guys.
Okay.
A 44-year-old Phillip Rivers is the sidearm. I can't wait.
Okay.
Like you said, maybe Tomlinson will suit up and Gates, and they'll come back, and we can do this again. All right, as far as the Browns game, guys,
Your
I
thoughts?
got to give my prediction on it. I got the Bears winning this thing 28-17.
Okay.
I think Shador is going to get cooled off here. I think one touchdown, maybe two tops. But it's going to be, the Browns will get some defensive help there, but I think the Bears just going to be, and I think it's going to be a thing where the Bears pull away late.
I can see
because
that.
the defense
see
is
that.
good. You know why? Because the defense is on the field too much,
Right,
Like they always are.
And the injuries maybe show up late, Steve. When
Yeah.
the Bears get that ground game going against the interior of that Browns defensive line, not having, Collins, maybe, I'm going to be tough if Graham doesn't play as well.
Yeah.
That's where I see the Bears really. I could see both quarterbacks maybe having a turnover in this one as well. I think Williams could have one, and I think Shador could have one. Wouldn't be surprised.
I hope that Shador does play like that, like he did in that Titans game. That would be amazing. I mean, if that would continue, woo.
To be fair, a lot of that had to do with game script, though, too. See, I think this is one of those games that's tight, and like I said, I don't think this is one where the Browns fall behind 2 scores with 6 minutes left.
And they play prevent, and he lights it up.
Right,
Yeah.
And they just put Shador in the shotgun and say, we got to sling it every play. I actually think Reese would be smart to go back to a little bit more ground game. In
Yeah.
this.
That's what I think, too. I
I
agree.
think time of possession is so important for the Browns.
Yeah.
Guys. We don't want this defense
Yeah.
to get tired, especially without
That's-
Denzel Ward.
that's right.
Guys like that. So Quinshaw Junkins,
Yep.
run that football, baby. Get over your 100
Yeah.
yards. Shador, let's sling it a few times, but time of possession is huge.
Big. I like that.
Defense can't get tired.
Yeah, this is one where we'd like to see that 20 carry barriers we talk about.
Yeah,
all
you're
the
right.
time, Steve.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well said, guys. Have a good one. Take care.